Hi, welcome to Pantry Cooking. Today we're making a pot pie, and it's really easy. I use a lot of canned goods or things from your pantry, so it's little cook, little mess, and it's gonna be tasty. So let's get to it. First thing you need to do is make the crust. I added a cup of flour and half a teaspoon of salt. This is a half of a recipe I found for pie crust that I will put in the description. After mixing that together, you're going to add 1 stick of cut cold butter. You want to make sure the butter is extremely cold because you need to make sure that the flour can get around and crumble with little particles of butter, and that's what makes the flaky crust. I obviously had too much melted butter when I was making my crust, and you can see in later when my crust was not actually that crispy, but it still tasted very good. It was very salty and delicious. Now I'm adding a teaspoon of vinegar. And then you mix it together with a little bit of ice cold water. Now don't add too much. I added quite a bit of water, and so I had to add back in more flour, which could have also affected the butter to flour ratio. So just add a little bit at a time. I suggest using a tablespoon or something and just add it in. But you really don't need that much. After you make the pie crust and it sits in the fridge, this is what it looks like. It is a very dense dough. Make sure you keep it in the fridge so it's nice and cold. What I'm going to do now is roll it out to put it on the bottom of my tray. So let me put a little bit of flour, and if you don't have a rolling pin like I do, you can flour up a bottle. This is just a bottle that we use when we make apple juice, fresh squeezed juice, or anything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of my dough, I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle because that's the shape of my container that I'm using, because I don't really have a deep dish pie container. And we're using the toaster oven, so I need something that'll fit. So I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle. I don't think you want it to be too thin, but if it's also too thick, it will not cook and it'll be soggy and gross. Not that there's anything that's edible raw in it. Let's mess this up. I made half of a pie dough recipe, so hopefully this is enough. I'm using a smaller container than I would have. I'm not doing a good job at making this square though, or rectangle. But I guess that's fine. I'm just gonna make sure the edges are all even.
You're too good at making round lefse.
It's true. I get all of my rolling skills from making lefse at Christmas time, which is a Norwegian pancake. Maybe I'll film a video about that around Christmas time. I'll do a holiday special of Christmas traditions. I have to find other people's traditions and I have to make their traditions. So tell me what your traditions are and I will make them. Let's see. Yeah, that'll fit. Cool. Okay, so let's put that in there so that I can throw all my stuff in. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is bad. Ooh. Oh. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. And also, don't cook with long nails and nail polish because you will get nail polish in your food and you will make holes in your pie crust. I make so many mistakes. Okay. Oh well.
Did you say not as you do?
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. There, I will cut this off when I put the top pie crust on. I'm gonna put this in the fridge. Now it's time to make the filling. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this cream of mushroom soup, condensed soup. So that means you have to add water to it. And this is what's gonna be my base. Usually you do like a roux and you do broth and you make gravy, but I don't wanna do that. I'll just use this can of soup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do half of this can, which I think is about a little more than a fourth. So we'll put that in. I'm gonna do a little more. Okay. And I'm going to add some water. I think I might need to do a little more. All right, and now I'm going to add 2/4 cups of water. And mix it up. I think I'm going to add more soup but no water so that it's a little bit thicker, because I want it to fill up my container. And it has mushrooms in it, so it's a bit chunky. I'll use just a little bit more. I'm basically using the whole can, which I didn't think I was going to do. But, okay. Now I'm going to add a can of peas and carrots. I prefer frozen, but we didn't have any, so these are going to be a little soft. I don't think I'm going to use the whole can. I already used some of it anyway, so I'll leave a little bit out. And now, for our favorite qourn pieces. Maybe just a little bit. That's good. Alrighty, and if this isn't enough, I'll just add more. But I can't really stir it in its container, because then I will destroy my pie crust that I worked so hard for. So let me go get the pie crust. Okay. You want it to be as cold as possible, because if the butter melts, then you're not going to have flaky, crispy, delicious pie crust. Okay. I'm going to add my filling. I think I'm going to add more stuff, right? I'm going to add the rest of these can, because why not? And I guess I'll add the rest of this can too. It might be soupier. I might be messing up the ever so important ratio of crust to filling, but that's why you use a deep dish pie pan. Let's do it all again. And then put it in the toaster oven. If it's not enough crust, I will make garlic bread. Okay, let's see if I can make this one more rectangular. And you want to try to move your dough around with whatever you're rolling, because you don't want it to stick to the board, which is also something you do when you make lefse. It's pretty much everything you do. This edge here is a lot thicker than what I want it to be. Alrighty. Does this look like it's gonna fit? Look at this. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I'm nervous. Okay. This is such a bad idea. Okay. Now, I just layer it over the top here. And I'm gonna crimp all of my edges. Make sure it goes in. Maybe I'll just leave this on the side and we'll have extra crispy bits. Because that's the best part, eating the crust off the top. Maybe I'll have to bake it separately or something. I don't know, I really don't know what to do right now. I should have made the inside thicker, I think. Ooh, it's already leaking. I need a knife. I'm going to take the back of the knife. I'm going to cut inside the pan because it doesn't exactly go over the pan. And the idea is that the back of the knife cuts and crimps the dough for you. For the most part, except for this corner right here. Corners will be hard. You know what? Those are just steam vents. All the corners are just steam vents, which is also important so that your pie doesn't like explode. Okay, that doesn't look that bad. Again, so you want to add some vents here and there. Alrighty. Should I try to, I don't know if I should try to like add an edge or something. I don't know. I'm just making it up. Well, I make everything up as I go, so what am I supposed to? I'm not supposed to. This needs to be a little bit longer. Oops. I'm going to try to cover up some of these edges, get some nice crispy bits. I don't know, it's definitely not coming out of the pan, so you eat it in the pan, which I think you do anyways for pot pie. When they're personal sized. I prefer personal sized. Okay. There we go. Into the oven it goes. So this is what it looks like out of the oven for about 40 minutes at 400 degrees. And it's just really soupy and jiggly, which is good. And I think the crust is cooked. I don't know. But this is what it looks like. I forgot to put an egg wash, so it's not as pretty on the top. And I can't tilt it as much or else all my stuff comes out. But it smells good, and I can't wait to eat it. That's it.